Hi, my name is Sophia Yazdi, and I'm here from the Center for Civic Engagement. And I'm here with New York State Senator Fred Akshar. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get started.
Thanks, Sophia.
My first question is, why are you running for sheriff? And if you are elected, what will be your top priorities for Broome County?
I'm running for sheriff for my family and for families across Broome County. I think we've spent a lot of time over the course of the summer going door to door, meeting with voter after voter. And one thing has become abundantly clear that the people of Broome County are really looking for new leadership. They're looking for someone that can advance the agency in a very positive way, but also advance the community at the very same time. So that's really why I'm running for sheriff. One of my top priorities is to address the staffing crisis that currently exists within the Broome County Correctional Facility. There are 38 members down. This administration, which my opponent is part of, has really been there's been significant failures on the part of the administration with respect to recruitment and retention. It has created significant issues for the men and women who work there every single day. But equally as important, it's created significant issues for the incarcerated individual who is not able to get to their medical appointments or not able to get to their court appointments because the staff simply doesn't exist. Look no further than the litigation surrounding visitation within the correctional facility. It's really been just an abject failure on the part of the administration for not addressing these issues and really creating hardships for both the staff and the incarcerated individual.
Okay, thank you. My next question is, how will you be involved in the law enforcement reform process following the police reform and reinvention plan?
Yeah, the executive order by former Governor Cuomo really forced police agencies statewide to start having conversations that, frankly, they should be having every day. So while I appreciated the governor's attempt to force that conversation, I view my role as the sheriff, if elected, a little bit different. I would not wait for the governor to tell me that I needed to have these conversations like the current administration did. We would be having these conversations on an ongoing basis. And one of the points to our 5-point plan is an integrated community policing program. By that, I mean not simply having coffee with a cop, stopping at a lemonade stand, or having an annual open house in which the public can come and see the assets of the agency. A true integrated community policing plan is rooted in the idea of solving the community's problems through community partnership. And one of the experiences that I've had in the state Senate serving for the last 7 years in this community is to understand and recognize the importance and the power of bringing people together, regardless of your political views, regardless of maybe any one given position on an issue. If you have the ability to bring people together, to partner with the people in this community, really the sky is the limit and you can accomplish much. So my view is not to wait for a governor to issue an executive order and then react. My view is to be proactive every day, bring people together, and certainly allow the community to have a role in shaping public safety as a whole.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, how will you support community relations with the Broome County Sheriff's Office?
Yeah, again, I go back to my earlier point, right? This is about integrating yourself into the community, right? Yourself being the public safety agency. One thing that we have always strived for as a member of the state legislature is to be accessible and approachable, to be open. We've held over 60 in-person town hall meetings. I've never expected the people that I represent to come to me. It's always been our position that we would always bring our message to the people. And I view my role as the sheriff in doing the same exact thing by bringing the agency and the things that the agency does on a daily basis with respect to public safety, whether it be in corrections or law enforcement or the civil division, bringing those things to the people directly. This is a matter of trust. It's a matter of the public trusting members of law enforcement. It's about members of law enforcement being able to trust the public. You do not build trust during the time of crisis. You can't do that. You must build trust on an ongoing and a daily basis. And I think it is incredibly important for the leader of the sheriff's office to lead by example, to ensure that there is organizational transformation in which every member of the agency, whether you're there for a day or there for 31 years, you recognize the importance of the public. You recognize the importance of the community being involved. And then really it just comes down to leadership, instilling that amongst the members of the agency, and then really just availing ourselves to the public.
Thank you. The next question is, what are the biggest challenges the Broome County Police Department is currently facing, and how will you address these issues?
Well, the biggest challenge today is a complete lack of leadership. You have ongoing lawsuits. You have a staffing crisis. You have the lowest morale in a decade. And my opponent has done nothing to change that. I think the fact that you have the entire law enforcement division that has stood up in a very courageous and public way and said, under Fred Akshar's leadership, we will have a better working environment. We will have a safer community. We will have better leadership. I mean, I think that endorsement spoke volumes. That was one of over 100 endorsements we've received in this campaign. But the fact that the very men and women of the organization of the Broome County Sheriff's Office are saying, we need new leadership here. When you are lacking leadership, when you're lacking vision, when you lack energy, it creates a couple of things, right, that we're currently witnessing at the office of the sheriff. It creates stagnation, and it creates a morale crisis. And both of those things have a direct impact on public safety, a negative impact on public safety. So the biggest challenge today is wanting to and ensuring that we provide new leadership and a new direction on day one.
Okay, thank you so much. And finally, is there anything else you would like to share to help students decide who deserves their vote?
Now, look, I think that the students should just look at history. They should look at where the agency currently is. And as I've been saying on the campaign trail over the course of this campaign for Broome County Sheriff, voters have a distinct choice in this year's election. They can vote for the status quo. And if they're okay with the status quo, if they're okay with the staffing crisis, if they're okay with the lack of transparency, if they're okay with a morale crisis, then they should not vote for me, because the status quo simply isn't working. If they are looking for a proven and a principled leader that will bring the community forward, that will bring the agency forward, but most importantly, bring law enforcement and the community together to build a better tomorrow for all of us, then I'm respectfully asking for their support. And I would just end on this. We have put forth a very robust and comprehensive plan to lead both the agency and the community forward. Indulge me for just a moment. We're focused on fiscal responsibility, ensuring that every dollar we spend has a positive impact on the people of this community, a true integrated community policing program in which we solve the community's problems through community partnership, a responsible reentry program. It is the sheriff's job to reduce recidivism. It's the sheriff's job to ensure that those that find themselves incarcerated have the tools that they need to be contributing members of the community in which they came. Any one of us could find ourselves in that very same position. I believe it in my heart that it is the sheriff's responsibility to ensure that we're giving the incarcerated individual all the tools that they need, addressing their mental health issues, their substance use disorder issues, their educational, their employment issues, their family issues. None of that is currently happening. And that really is just a failure on the part of this administration and my opponent. Safe and secure neighborhoods, regardless of where you live, whether you're on campus, off campus, in Northern Broome and Eastern Broome and Vestal. I want to ensure that everyone is as safe as humanly possible, right? When you're working here, you're living here, you're getting your education here, you're raising your family here. And last but not least, and again, I appreciate your indulgence, is transparency. There has been a complete lack of transparency on the part of this administration. We believe very, very strongly that As sheriff, it is my responsibility to shine a very bright light on the day-to-day operations of the organization, so the community is never left to wonder what in fact is going on up on the hill at the Broome County Sheriff's Office. I believe so strongly in transparency. If your listeners or your followers want to see my entire police record, they can go to my website, fredakshar.com, go to the transparency piece. And my entire police record of 13 years at the Broome County Sheriff's Office is there for your review. Again, just respectfully ask everyone for their consideration on November 8th when they go to vote.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming today and doing the interview with me, Fred. Students, please make sure to check out the other videos to see all the other candidates, and don't forget to vote on November 8th. If you have any questions, please come to the Center for Civic Engagement located across from the Marketplace. Thank you.